Do people listen when you speak? Do your words move rooms? Or do you often feel unheard, misunderstood, or ignored? Let me tell you a secret. You don't need a title to lead. You don't need to shout to command attention. You just need to know how to talk like a leader. Because leaders don't just speak, they influence, inspire, and ignite. And in this audiobook, I'll show you how. Welcome to How to Talk Like a Leader, your guide to mastering communication that commands respect, builds trust, and gets things done. In a world full of noise, real leadership starts with clarity, not fancy words, not fake confidence, but with real, grounded, intentional speech. We're not just going to teach you how to speak better. We're going to change the way people hear you. From boardrooms to relationships, from strangers to your own self-talk, your words will begin to carry power. Because when you talk like a leader, you live like one. Before we begin, a quick note. If you find this audiobook helpful, don't forget to follow or subscribe to stay updated with more powerful lessons like this. We're building a space where real growth happens, and your voice matters here too. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1. Why your voice matters more than you think. Let's start with a simple truth. Your voice is not just sound. It's a tool, a signal, a message. Your voice tells people who you are, without needing to show your resume. But most people don't realize the power they carry every time they speak. They say, "I'm not a leader. No one listens to me. I'm just not confident enough. I'm quiet. I can't lead." But here's what I want to tell you right now. Leadership has nothing to do with volume and everything to do with presence. Your voice can change lives. Your voice can shift a room. Your voice, when used with purpose, can build empires. The problem. No one talks about. Let's be honest. Most of us were never taught how to speak like leaders. In school, we were told to speak when spoken to. In meetings, we're told to stay professional. In relationships, we're told to be nice. And slowly, we learn to shrink. We learn to censor ourselves. We learn to keep quiet when we should speak up. We learn to doubt our words before we say them. And worst of all, we start to believe our voice doesn't matter. But let me remind you, your voice is your power. It's your signature. It's your influence. It's your leadership. Why your voice is more powerful than you think. Think about this. Every powerful leader in history, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Nelson Mandela, from Oprah to Steve Jobs, didn't lead with fists. They led with words. They used their voice to cast vision, to unite people, to shift culture, to inspire action. And you might say, well, I'm not like them. But here's the truth. They started just like you, unsure, quiet, maybe even afraid, but they learned how to use their voice, and the world listened, and so can you. What does it mean to talk like a leader? It doesn't mean being loud. It doesn't mean using fancy words. It doesn't mean always being right. Talking like a leader means you speak with clarity. You speak with purpose. You speak with intention. You speak with confidence, even in discomfort. You speak to connect, not just to impress. When you talk like a leader, people don't just hear you. They feel you. Why people tune you out and how to change it. Let's be honest. Sometimes we talk and no one listens. Why? Because we speak from reaction, not reflection. Because we speak to fill silence, not to deliver value. Because we speak without alignment. And when that happens, your voice gets lost in the noise. But here's how leaders speak differently. They pause. They think before responding. They listen first. They ask before they tell. They know that silence is a tool, not an enemy. Great leaders don't rush to speak. They speak when it matters. And that's why people listen. You don't need a microphone to lead. Some of the greatest leadership happens in quiet rooms. A mother calming her child with a steady tone. A teacher encouraging a student with belief in their voice. A team leader giving space for others to speak. A friend speaking truth, gently but firmly. These moments don't go viral, but they shape lives. You don't need a stage to lead. You just need to speak with care, with truth, with heart. And that starts with believing. My voice matters, because it does. 3. Lies you've been told about speaking like a leader. Let's kill these lies now. Lie number 1. You have to be extroverted. No. Some of the most powerful leaders are quiet thinkers. Introverts lead by presence, not volume. Lie number 2. You need big words. No. Simplicity wins. Great leaders speak so simply that even a child can understand. Lie number 3. You need confidence first. No. You build confidence by speaking, not the other way around. You don't wait until you're fearless. You speak even with fear, and that's what makes you strong. The power of tone, pace, and pause words matter, but how you say them, that's leadership. Let's break it down. Your tone says more than your sentence. Speak calmly, and you create trust. Speak too sharply, and you create walls. Pace, slow down. A fast talker seems nervous. A steady pace shows presence. It says, I'm here. I'm grounded. I'm not rushing to prove. Pause. Silence is powerful. Leaders use the pause. They don't fear it. They let it land. They let people feel what's said. Master these, and people will hang on your words. Reclaiming your voice starts now. You may feel like your voice has been hidden, that people walk over your words, that you're not taken seriously. But let this be your moment to take it back, step by step, one sentence at a time. Here's where you begin. Speak even when your voice shakes. Say what you mean, not what's safe. Let go of needing to please everyone. Stop over-explaining yourself. Know that your value doesn't need validation, because when you start talking like a leader, people will notice. They'll stop interrupting. They'll start listening. They'll feel your presence even before you speak. And most importantly, you will start listening to yourself. You have something to say. Don't say, I'm not ready. Don't say, who am I to speak? Don't say, I'll just stay quiet. Say instead, I've learned enough to speak with truth. I may not know everything, but I know this matters. My voice has value, even if only one person hears it, because someone is waiting for the words you've been afraid to say. And that person might be you. You talk like a leader. When you tell the truth, kindly, ask questions that open minds, say no without guilt, admit when you don't know, and stay curious. Hold space for others to speak. Speak up for people who can't use your words to lift, not crush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. That's leadership. Let's pause. Here. This first chapter was about one thing. Your voice matters. Not someday. Not when you get the title. Not when you feel 100% ready. Now. Because when you learn how to talk like a leader, you'll stop waiting to be heard and start knowing you are the message. Chapter 2. The Inner Voice. How to lead yourself. Before leading others. Before you speak to the world, you speak to yourself. Every single day. That quiet voice inside your head, that's your real leadership training ground. Because if you can't lead yourself, you'll never be able to lead anyone else. Let me say that again. True leadership starts in silence, in the private moments, in how you speak when no one is listening. The first voice you ever hear. From the moment you open your eyes each morning, your brain starts talking. Get up, you're running late. Ugh, I look tired. Why did I say that yesterday? I'll never be good enough. Today's going to be a mess. That voice, that's the inner voice, your personal narrator. And guess what? It shapes how you show up in the world. If your inner voice is harsh, fearful, or unsure, your outer words will sound the same. But if your inner voice is strong, kind, and clear, you'll speak like a leader without even trying. Most people don't realize this. You could be wearing a suit. You could be leading a team. You could be posting motivational quotes all day. But if your inner voice says, I'm not enough, they'll laugh at me. I'm a fraud. I have to prove myself. Then your words will come from insecurity, not confidence. And people can feel that. They might not say it, but they'll sense it in your energy. That's why your first leadership job is to fix the voice inside. You are always leading someone. Even when you're alone, you're leading yourself. How you talk to yourself when You make a mistake, you feel rejected, you're not picked, you mess up in public, you try something and fail. That's when real leadership shows up. Do you tear yourself down, or do you say, it's okay? Let's learn. Let's move forward. I'm not my failure. I'm proud I tried. The way you coach yourself during hard moments is how you'll coach others one day. Rewriting the script in your mind. Most of us are walking around repeating old scripts in our heads. Things we heard growing up. You talk too much. You'll never make it. No one cares what you think. Be quiet. You don't know anything. Leaders are born, not made. And we carry those voices into adulthood. But listen carefully. You get to rewrite the script. You're the editor now. Here's how. Notice the old lines. Catch them when they appear. Question them. Is this really true or just familiar? Replace them. Speak new words to yourself. Words that build. Words that lead. Powerful inner phrases for leaders. Say these often, even if you don't believe them yet. I am enough, even as I grow. I speak with intention, not fear. I am allowed to take up space. My voice deserves to be heard. I can lead, even if I'm learning. I don't have to be perfect to make impact. When you say these daily, your brain starts to believe them. And when your inner voice shifts, so does everything you say out loud. How your inner voice affects your outer voice. Let's break this down clearly. Inner voice, I'm not good at this. Outer voice becomes shaky, hesitant, unclear. Inner voice, people always interrupt me. Outer voice becomes passive, unconfident. Inner voice, I have nothing important to say. Outer voice becomes small, invisible. Now flip it. Inner voice, I'm growing every day. Outer voice becomes calm, powerful. Inner voice, I trust myself to handle this. Outer voice becomes steady, firm. Inner voice, I bring value with my words. Outer voice becomes respected and followed. That's how it works. Every time. Stop the inner bully. Many people speak kindly to others, but are cruel to themselves. I'm such an idiot. I always mess things up. I'm too awkward. Why can't I be like them? If a friend talked to you like that, you'd walk away. So why tolerate that voice in your own head? It's time to shut down the inner bully. Not with anger, but with truth. Tell yourself, I'm not perfect, but I'm showing up. I speak with love and strength. I'm not here to compare. I'm here to grow. Say it until the bully goes quiet. Daily practice. Lead yourself every morning. Here's a simple routine to build leadership inside first. Wake up and speak 3 powerful truths. Example, I am focused. I will speak clearly today. I am calm under pressure. Look in the mirror and smile. Yes, smile. This rewires your brain. Even a fake smile works. Speak gratitude. Say, I'm grateful for this voice. I'm grateful I get to speak, lead, and grow today. Visualize your voice. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. See yourself speaking confidently, in a room, on a call, wherever. Hear yourself sounding strong. Do this daily. It trains your inner leader. You can't talk like a leader if you talk down to yourself. Let's be clear. You can't inspire others if your inner voice is full of shame and doubt. You can't lead a team if your thoughts keep calling you weak. You can't win public respect if you disrespect your own soul. So starting today, speak to yourself like a leader, with grace, with boldness, with vision, because how you lead you is how you will lead them. What you say when you're alone matters most. You don't need an audience to practice leadership. Start when no one's watching. When you spill coffee, when your plan fails, when you're rejected. Don't curse yourself. Coach yourself. Say, okay, that happened, I'll fix it. What can I learn here? This doesn't define me. I've handled worse. I've got this. That's the voice of a leader, and it's the one people trust, even if they can't explain why. The inner voice shapes your body, too. Did you know your thoughts affect your body language? A defeated thought drops your shoulders. A doubtful thought makes you look away. A fearful thought tightens your jaw. But when your inner voice is strong, you sit taller, you walk steady, you speak clear, you breathe deeper. And that energy, it's contagious. People feel it before you even open your mouth. Your voice is a reflection of what's inside. People often ask, how do I sound more confident? The answer? Become more confident inside. Not fake confidence, but a deep trust in yourself. That trust builds when you keep your promises to yourself. Speak truthfully. Show up when it's hard. Forgive your past. Celebrate small wins. Do that long enough, and your voice will carry the weight of real leadership because it came from real growth. What to do when your inner voice gets loud again. Bad days will come. Old voices will return. Self-doubt will sneak in. That's okay. Just remember, you are not your thoughts. Thoughts pass. You stay. You have the power to choose your next sentence. Don't try to silence everything. Just lead the conversation. Say, thank you, fear, but I'm not listening to you today. Doubt, I see you, but I'm choosing faith. Mistake, you happened, but I'm moving forward. That's leadership in motion. You are the first person you must lead. Never forget this. You can't lead a meeting, a movement, a marriage, or a mission until you learn to lead you. And that starts here, with the words you whisper in your own mind, with the tone you use on hard days, with the way you encourage yourself to rise again. Lead yourself like someone you deeply respect, because when you do, your outer voice will carry that same respect, and the world will listen. Chapter 3. How to speak so people instantly trust you. You can say the smartest words in the world. You can speak clearly, confidently, and even powerfully. But if people don't trust you, they won't follow you. They'll smile, nod, maybe even clap. But deep down, they'll hold back. Because leadership isn't just about being heard. It's about being trusted. And trust begins with how you speak. Not just what you say, but how you say it. People don't follow words. They follow feelings. Let's get this clear. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. So the question isn't, did I sound smart? The question is, did I make them feel safe, seen, and understood? Because trust grows where people feel respected. If your words sound sharp, rushed, fake, or arrogant, people shut down. But if your voice feels steady, honest, warm, and clear, they lean in. That's how you build trust, not through perfection, but connection. The trust triangle. Here's a simple way to think about trust when you speak. The trust triangle. Warmth. Do they feel safe with you? Credibility. Do they believe you know what you're talking about? Authenticity. Do they believe you're being real? When you hit all three, people trust you instantly. Let's break each down. Warmth. Speak like a human, not a robot. Leadership doesn't mean sounding cold or serious. In fact, the best leaders are approachable. Their words feel like an open door. How to sound warm. Use calm tone, not rushed or loud. Make eye contact if in person. Smile gently when you speak. Use everyday words, not fancy ones. Show you care with your voice, not just your message. Example. Instead of, you missed the target. We'll discuss this later. Try, hey, I noticed we didn't hit the goal this time. Let's figure it out together. One sounds like a boss, the other sounds like a leader. Credibility. Speak like you know what you're talking about. This doesn't mean acting like a know-it-all. It means speaking with clarity and confidence. People trust speakers who speak slowly and clearly. Use short, direct sentences. Back opinions with real examples. Admit when they don't know something. Stay calm under pressure. You don't need a degree to be credible. You need honesty, preparation, and calm delivery. Remember, if you don't trust your own words, no one else will. Authenticity. Speak like yourself. Fake confidence is easy to spot, and when people feel you're performing, they pull away. Being authentic doesn't mean sharing every detail of your life. It means being real and consistent. How to speak authentically. Don't overpromise. Speak how you actually feel. Share mistakes when it helps others use your natural voice, not one you copied. Stay aligned. Say what you mean what you say. Example. Instead of, everything's perfect and under control. Try. We've hit a few bumps, but we're adjusting fast. People follow real, not polished, not perfect. Body language matters. 2. Your words say one thing, but your body might say another. And when they don't match, people trust your body more. That's called nonverbal communication. To build trust, keep your shoulders relaxed. Don't fidget or look down. Use open hand gestures. Keep your face calm and expressive. Match your facial expression to your words. Example, don't say "I'm excited" with a blank face. Don't say "I understand" while staring at your phone. Let your whole body speak the same truth. That's leadership, the most trusted word in the English language. Know what it is? I don't know. Strange, right? But people trust leaders who can say, "I don't know that yet, but I'll find out." That's not my area. Let me check. Good question. Let me get back to you. Why? Because it proves you're honest, and honesty is more valuable than pretending to be perfect. The tone trap. You might be saying the right words, but your tone is off. It sounds annoyed, or passive-aggressive, or bored. Here's the truth. Your tone is the real message. Say these sentences out loud. Sure, 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 sure. Same word, totally different messages. Be mindful of your tone. Speak with care, not just content. Story time. The leader who wasn't loud. There was once a school principal named Mr. Allen. He didn't yell. He didn't carry a big presence. He didn't try to be everyone's favorite. But when he spoke, you listened. Why? Because he always looked you in the eye, spoke slowly, with thought, never made promises he couldn't keep, always followed up, treated everyone like they mattered. And because of that, everyone trusted him. Even if they disagreed, they respected him. That's the power of trust in leadership. You don't have to be loud, just real. Practical tips. How to build trust. Every day. Try these right now. Pause before you speak. A 1-second pause adds power. Say their name. People trust you more when you say their name with respect. Speak slower than normal. Slowness feels like calm and control. Don't over-explain. Trust your point. Say it once, clearly. Ask questions back. What do you think? Shows respect. Repeat their concern before answering. So you're worried about the deadline. Let's talk about that. This proves you're really listening. Keep your word. Say what you'll do. Then do it. Trust is built moment by moment, voice by voice, word by word. People trust what they feel, not what they hear. Think of someone you trust deeply. Why do you trust them? Because they listen, because they don't pretend, because they speak truth even when it's hard? Chances are it's not because they said something brilliant. It's because they showed up consistently. You can do the same. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need to sound like a TED speaker. You just need to sound like you. Honest, grounded, kind, certain. That's what makes people trust you. The fastest way to break trust. Want to lose trust fast? Be fake. Say one thing, do another. Speak in a way that makes others feel small. Avoid responsibility. Never admit mistakes. Talk more than you listen. Every time you break trust with words, it gets harder to earn it back. So speak with care, not fear, but care, like your words have weight, because they do. What to do when you mess up. You will say the wrong thing someday. You'll hurt someone's feelings. You'll speak too fast. You'll make a poor decision. That doesn't end your leadership. What matters is what you say next. The most powerful words in leadership. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And then, I'm fixing it. Own it. Apologize clearly. Repair the trust. People respect leaders who can admit wrong more than those who fake being right. Trust can't be faked. You can't fake trust with a deep voice, or a nice suit, or big words. You build it, sentence by sentence, moment by moment, choice by choice. Your voice becomes trustworthy when your life becomes trustworthy. That means you say what you mean, you treat people well, you show up when it's hard, you follow through. That's how your voice earns respect. Not through performance, but through truth. Chapter 4. The Power of Listening. Why leaders speak less and hear more. When you think of a great leader, you probably picture someone giving a powerful speech, a commanding voice, strong words, big presence. But here's a truth that might surprise you. The greatest leaders listen more than they speak. They don't just talk, they tune in. Because while talking can get attention, listening earns respect. And without respect, your voice is just noise. Listening is not waiting to speak. Let's be clear. Listening is not nodding while planning your reply, Smiling while thinking of what to say next. Looking at someone's face while your mind is elsewhere. That's pretending. That's waiting for your turn. Real listening is a choice. It's full attention. It's presence. And that's rare. That's powerful. When you truly listen to someone, you make them feel valued. You're saying with your silence, you matter. Your words are worth my time. That's leadership. Why most people are bad listeners. Let's be honest. Most people think they're good listeners, but here's what actually happens. We interrupt, we judge, we compare stories, we give advice too soon, we change the subject. We glance at our phones, we look at the clock, and the other person walks away feeling unseen. Here's the problem. Everyone wants to be heard, but very few want to hear. Great leaders choose to be different. They don't just talk to be heard, they listen to understand. Listening builds trust faster than talking. Think about the people you trust the most. Chances are they're the ones who really listen to you. They didn't rush you. They didn't dismiss you. They didn't fix you. They made space for you, and that space became safety. When you listen well, people open up. Tension softens. Problems reveal their roots. Respect grows quietly. Want to influence someone? Start by making them feel heard. That's how trust is built. Not with speeches, but with silence. 3. Levels of listening. Most only reach level 1. Level 1. Fake listening. You're smiling, nodding, but you're not really there. You're thinking about lunch. You're planning your reply. You're checking your phone. This breaks trust fast. Level 2. Functional listening. You hear the words. You understand the message, but you don't connect emotionally. It's business. It's polite. It's safe. Leaders often live here, but they shouldn't stop here. Level 3. Deep listening. You give your full attention. You listen with your eyes, body, and heart. You notice what's not being said. You ask thoughtful questions. You reflect, pause, and give space. This is rare. This is gold. This is what transforms teams, relationships, and lives. Silence can be a gift. Most people are afraid of silence. They rush to fill it. But silence, when used with care, is a leader's secret weapon. Silence gives space for others to think. Silence makes your words more powerful. Silence shows confidence. Silence allows emotions to rise and pass. The next time someone speaks, try this. When they finish, don't respond immediately. Wait 3 seconds. Breathe. Let the moment settle. Watch what happens. They might share more. They might feel seen. They might feel respected. Silence is not empty. It's full of presence. Listening with the whole body. To truly listen, your body must speak too. Here's how to use it. Face them fully. No turning sideways. Make eye contact, but not a stare down. Lean in slightly. Shows interest. Relax your shoulders. Reduces tension. Keep your phone away. No distractions. Nod gently. Not like a bobblehead, but like you care. Your body can say, I'm here. I care. I'm listening. No words needed. Leaders ask great questions. Listening isn't just silence. It's also asking the right questions. Powerful questions sound like, can you tell me more? What's been weighing on you lately? What do you need from me right now? What would a win look like for you today? How are you really feeling? These questions open hearts. They show that you're not just hearing, you're seeking. And when you seek someone's truth, you give them permission to trust you. The danger of interrupting. Every time you interrupt, you send one message. What I have to say is more important than what you're saying. You may not mean it that way, but that's how it lands. And once you interrupt often, people stop opening up. Here's a tip. When you feel the urge to cut in, pause. Breathe. Write your thought down if needed. Let them finish. You'll speak better after they feel heard, and they'll respect you more. Leaders don't always need to have the last word. Many people talk to win, to prove a point, to sound smart, to wrap things up. But leaders know you don't have to finish every conversation with your opinion. Sometimes letting others speak last makes them feel strong, respected, and valued. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Story time. The leader who said very little. There once was a manager named Rosa. Her team loved her, not because she gave big speeches, but because she made every person feel heard. She didn't jump in with answers. She asked deep questions. She paused when others spoke. She repeated what people said to make sure she understood. She never rushed meetings. One day her teammate said, "Rosa, you're the only one here who really listens." And that's why people followed her, because she led with listening. Listening helps you speak better, too. Here's the magic. The better you listen, the smarter your words become. You start speaking to respond, not to react. You understand what others really need. You become clearer, calmer, more grounded. That's the difference between talking and leading. Listening first shapes your words with precision. It makes your message land better. It helps you say less, but mean more. Listening as a daily practice. Listening isn't something you master once. It's a habit. Try this. Every day, pick one person. Give them your full attention. Ask a deep question. Don't interrupt. Don't rush. Just listen. You'll be shocked how much trust you build in 10 minutes. Leadership is built in small moments like that. Chapter 5. Commanding Presence. How to speak. So people stop and listen. Let's ask a tough question. Have you ever spoken in a room and felt invisible? You shared your idea, no one reacted. You raised your voice, but they kept talking. You repeated yourself, and still nothing changed. It makes you wonder, what's wrong with me? Here's the truth. It's not your voice volume. It's your presence. Commanding presence is the hidden skill that turns a whisper into a speech, a suggestion into a decision, and a sentence into influence. It's not about dominating. It's about resonating. It's not about being loud. It's about being felt. And in this chapter, you'll learn exactly how to do that. What is presence, really? Presence is not something you're born with. It's something you practice. You can walk into a room without saying a word, and people will feel your confidence. You can speak just one sentence, and people will lean in. That's presence. It's a mix of how you carry yourself, how you speak, what energy you bring, and how aligned you are with what you're saying. Presence is not showmanship. It's truth in motion. Why most people lack it. Let's be honest. Most people are busy trying to be liked. They speak to please. They water down their words. They smile too much. They rush their sentences. They seek approval with every line. And slowly, they become forgettable. But leaders, they're not trying to be liked. They're trying to be clear. They don't speak for attention. They speak for impact. Your body speaks first. Before you say a word, your body has already spoken. That's right. Your posture, your face, your hands, your breathing, they all send signals. So how do you show presence before opening your mouth? Stand tall, shoulders back, head up, take up space. Don't shrink into corners. Breathe deeply. Shallow breathing shows fear. Relax your jaw and eyes. Tension makes you look unsure. Ground your feet, firmly planted, not pacing nervously. When your body says, "I belong here," your words gain weight before they even arrive. Speak like you mean it. This may sound simple, but it's life-changing. Say what you mean. Mean what you say. Stop apologizing for speaking. Too many people soften their voice with, "Sorry, just wanted to say, this might be stupid, but I could be wrong, but I'm not sure, but maybe." Every time you add those phrases, you steal power from your own voice. Instead, say, "Here's what I'm seeing. I believe this matters. Let's try this. I think we're missing something important." Speak with ownership. Leaders don't speak from fear. They speak from alignment. Slow down to be heard. Fast talkers often get ignored. Why? Because speed sounds nervous. It says, "I'm afraid I'll be interrupted." It sounds unsure, even when the words are smart. Great leaders do the opposite. They slow down. They pause between points. They let words land. Try it. Say a line, then pause. Let your audience feel the words. Let silence do the heavy lifting. The slower you speak, the more people will feel. This must be important. Control the room without controlling people. Commanding presence is not control. It's not bullying. It's not talking over others. It's influence through energy, not volume. Here's how to own a room without overpowering it. Make eye contact with one person at a time. Use stillness. Fidgeting shows weakness. Ask powerful questions. Wait after you speak. Let it breathe. Speak with intention, not just to fill silence. When you carry calm confidence, you don't need to push your way into attention. People naturally give it to you. Drop the need to convince, a common mistake people make. Trying to convince everyone. They explain too much. They repeat themselves. They raise their voice. They chase approval. But here's the truth. You don't need to convince when your words are aligned and your energy is grounded. Say it once, clearly. Say it with certainty and move on. The right people will hear you. The wrong people won't. No matter how many times you explain, that's not your problem. That's their limitation. Presence in difficult conversations. Want to test your real leadership? Try staying calm when someone challenges you. Try speaking clearly when emotions are high. Try holding eye contact when being criticized. Try pausing when you want to explode. That's where presence is tested and earned. Here's what to remember. Breathe before responding. Don't match their volume. Stay calm. Use phrases like, let's stay focused, or here's what matters right now. Avoid sarcasm, eye rolls, or blame. Keep your voice low and firm. Calm is power, and people will trust the calmest voice in the room. A quick story, the intern who owned the room. Marcus was just an intern. He didn't speak much. He didn't have a fancy title. He wasn't from an elite school. But one day, during a high-stakes meeting, the CEO asked a tough question. Silence. Everyone avoided eye contact. Then Marcus raised his hand. He stood up, spoke slowly, made one strong point, then sat down. The whole room turned. After the meeting, the CEO said, "Let's bring Marcus into next week's strategy session." Why? Because he spoke with presence, no fear, no rush, just value, delivered with calm strength. That's how leaders rise, one moment at a time. Practice presence in daily life. Don't wait for big speeches to build presence. Do it every day. When ordering coffee, speak with clarity. When talking to a friend, stay present. When on a call, sit tall. Breathe, focus. When in a group, speak once, but with weight. Small reps build big skills, and presence is a skill, not a gift. You deserve to be heard. Here's what I want you to carry from this chapter. You don't have to prove your worth to speak. You already have value. You already have insight. You already have a voice. The world doesn't need louder people. It needs present people. Calm, clear, strong. People who walk in like they belong because they do. People who speak with care because they believe their words matter. People like you. Chapter 6. How to handle tough conversations like a leader. Let's be real. Not every conversation is smooth. Some are tough. Some are uncomfortable. Some feel like walking into a fire. But guess what? The way you handle hard conversations will define how people see you as a leader. Anyone can talk when it's easy. But when emotions rise, when conflict shows up, when the room feels tense, that's where true leadership steps in. In this chapter, we're going to teach you how to face those moments with calm, confidence, and clarity. Because great leaders don't avoid tough conversations, they master them. Why tough conversations matter. Think about the moments that changed your life. Chances are they weren't easy. They were raw, emotional, maybe even painful, but they were also honest. Tough conversations build real trust, clear, hidden tension, set stronger boundaries, inspire respect, reveal truth, and unlock growth. Avoiding them creates confusion. Facing them creates clarity. The first rule, breathe before you speak. Before you walk into a hard conversation, stop. Take one deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Remind yourself, I don't need to win. I need to stay grounded. One breath can change your energy, and your energy changes everything. Because when emotions are high, people don't respond to logic. They respond to energy. So lead with calm energy. Stay focused on the goal, not the emotion. It's easy to get pulled into emotion, anger, defensiveness, shame, fear. But leaders stay focused on the goal of the conversation. Ask yourself before you begin, what do I really want from this talk? What's the outcome I hope for? What matters most right now? That goal becomes your compass. Even if the other person gets emotional, you stay on track. Even if they blame or yell, you stay clear. Because leadership is staying centered, not reactive. Choose the right time and place. Timing matters. Privacy matters. Tone matters. Don't drop serious feedback in front of others. Don't start deep talks when you're both tired or distracted. Instead, pick a calm setting. Turn off phones. Make eye contact. Sit at the same level, not across a power desk. Set the intention. I want to talk with you, not at you. Environment affects emotion, and emotion affects outcome. Use I statements, not you attacks. Let's say someone on your team is always late. Bad way to start. You're so unprofessional. You're always disrespectful. Better way, I've noticed you've been coming in late, and it's affecting the team. I want to understand what's going on. See the difference? You makes people defensive. I shows ownership. It says, I'm sharing my experience. I'm not here to attack. I want to solve this with you. Leaders speak to resolve, not blame. Don't avoid the hard part. Face it gently. Some people sugarcoat. They talk in circles. They say everything except what needs to be said. That's not kindness. That's confusion. Say the hard thing, but say it with care. Here's how. Be direct but kind. Use simple words. Don't hide behind jargon or vague hints. Say it once, clearly, then pause. Example, I want to be honest. The way you responded in that meeting made others feel shut down. We need to talk about that. Truth spoken with care builds respect. Listen without defending. This is the hardest part. When someone pushes back, when they disagree, when they say something that feels unfair, your instinct will scream, defend yourself. But leaders know you don't have to defend everything. You just need to understand. So do this. Take a breath, listen fully. Say, that's helpful. Can you tell me more? Don't interrupt. Don't correct mid-sentence. Even if they're wrong, let them feel heard. Once they feel safe, they'll be more open to hearing you. Ask, don't just tell tough. Conversations aren't monologues. They're two-way bridges. Ask questions like, how did you feel about that moment? What do you think we could have done better? What do you need from me right now? What's getting in your way lately? Questions invite ownership. They create partnership. They say, let's solve this together. And that's leadership. Watch your body language, words matter, but your body shouts louder. In tough conversations, keep your arms relaxed. Sit open, not closed. Don't point fingers. Don't cross your arms. Maintain soft eye contact. Nod to show understanding. Avoid fidgeting or checking the clock. Your presence should say, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. We'll face this together. That makes people feel safe, even when the topic is hard. When emotions rise, slow everything down. People cry, people yell, people freeze. It happens. When emotions rise, lower your voice, slow your words, pause more often. Repeat what they said to show understanding. Say something grounding like, let's take a breath. I hear you. We'll work through this. Leadership is keeping your calm so others can find theirs. End with a step forward. Don't end. A tough talk with just thanks for your time. That leaves people floating. Instead, end with a clear next step, a shared understanding, a follow-up plan, appreciation for their honesty. Example, let's check in next Friday and see how the changes feel. Thanks for being open. I respect your honesty. Let's keep this dialogue going. We may not agree on everything, but I'm glad we talked. That's how tough talks build stronger bonds. Quick story, the leader who faced the fire. Jasmine led a fast-growing team. One employee, Ravi, was underperforming badly, but everyone liked him. No one wanted to confront him, except Jasmine. She invited him for coffee. She didn't attack. She asked. She listened. She laid out the facts. She offered support, but also gave a clear boundary. Ravi didn't get defensive. He thanked her. 3 months later, his performance was top of the team, and he told a new hire, Jasmine was the first leader who ever talked to me with honesty and care. That changed everything. Chapter 7, Speaking to Inspire, How to Move People with Your Words. You've handled conflict. You've stayed calm under pressure. Now let's talk about something even more powerful: inspiration. Because leadership isn't just about managing problems. It's about sparking something in others. The best leaders, they don't just give orders. They ignite hearts. They move minds. They lift spirits. They speak, and people believe again. In this chapter, we'll unlock how you can do that. How to speak in a way that doesn't just inform, but inspires. What is inspirational speaking? It's not about fancy quotes. It's not about raising your voice. It's not about being dramatic. Inspiration happens when people hear truth and feel hope. Inspirational speaking is real, grounded, honest, clear, filled with purpose. It says, I've been through something, I've learned, and I'm sharing it with you so you can rise too. Why inspiration matters in leadership. Let's face it, people are tired, stressed, distracted, pulled in 100 directions. They need someone to remind them why they started, what they're capable of, that their work matters, that they are seen and valued. As a leader, your words can do that. One short message from you can lift a team out of fear and into focus. Speak from experience, not perfection. You don't need to be perfect to inspire people. You just need to be real. Share your journey, talk about your struggles, speak about your failures and what they taught you. Show people how far you've come, because when you share your real story, people see themselves in you. They think, if they got through that, maybe I can too. That's inspiration. The power of why. Inspirational speech always answers one big question. Why does this matter? You're not just telling people what to do. You're reminding them why it's worth doing. For example, don't just say, we need to meet the deadline. Say, if we hit this, we prove what's possible under pressure. Don't say, work harder. Say, every hour you invest here is building your legacy. When you speak to someone's purpose, they'll give more than their time. They'll give their heart. Use simple, strong language. Don't try to sound smart. Try to sound true. Avoid big words, complex phrases, corporate buzzwords, long explanations. Instead, use short sentences. Speak in images. This is the moment we rise. Use contrast. We were tired, but we didn't stop. Use repetition. You showed up. You gave more. You rose. Simplicity creates power, and power moves people. Paint the vision. If you want to inspire people, give them something to see, not just what is, but what could be. Speak in vision. Say things like, picture this. Imagine a day when, here's what I see for us. Let me tell you what's possible. Vision pulls people forward. It gives direction. It gives hope. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a clear picture of a better future. Speak to the heart first. Facts don't move people. Feelings do. So before you try to make your case, connect to emotion. Say, I know how hard you've worked. I've felt that same frustration too. This isn't easy, but it's worth it. I see your effort, even when others don't. When people feel seen, they open up. When they feel understood, they listen. When they feel hope, they move. Know when to pause. Don't rush through your message. When you say something powerful, stop. Let it breathe. Let silence carry the weight. Try this. We're not just building a company here. We're building a culture, a legacy, a family. Then pause. Those few seconds of silence, they'll say more than 100 extra words. Inspire in 3 acts. Struggle, shift, strength. Here's a simple framework to tell any inspiring story. Struggle, share a challenge. Shift, share what changed your thinking strength. Share what happened after the shift. For example, I used to be afraid to speak up, but one day I realized staying silent was keeping me small. When I started sharing my ideas, everything changed. My confidence grew, and others started listening. This format is easy to remember and powerful to deliver. Use names and stories. People don't remember numbers. They remember stories. If someone on your team overcame something, tell that story. Use their name. Highlight their courage. Let others see what's possible. Example: last week, Maria stayed up until 2 a.m. finishing that report. Not because anyone forced her, but because she cares about excellence. That's the spirit that moves us forward. Inspiration lives in real moments. Speak with emotion, not just logic. If you want people to act, move their heart. Raise your tone where it counts. Let passion enter your voice. Let your eyes carry meaning. Let your posture show belief. You don't need to cry. You don't need to shout. Just speak with real feeling. If you care deeply, show it. People follow passion, not just plans. You don't need to be a motivational speaker. Let go of that pressure. You're not giving a TED Talk. You're not delivering a perfect script. You're just being a leader who cares enough to speak with meaning. That's what people remember. Not the polish, not the performance, but the presence, the honesty, the feeling behind your words. A quick story. The day. A simple sentence changed everything. Jake was a warehouse team leader. Quiet guy. Didn't say much. One Friday, right before a big delivery push, the team was tired and dragging. Jake stepped up and simply said, "I know this week was rough, but I've never been prouder to stand beside all of you." That's it. No speech, no plan. Just heart. And something shifted. People smiled. They stood straighter. They finished the work with fire because someone reminded them they mattered. That's the power of inspirational speaking. And it's inside you too. Practice inspiration. Every day, don't wait for big stages. Practice in small moments. Send a kind message. Thank someone with detail. Remind your team why their work matters. Celebrate small wins. Share a quote that moved you. Start meetings with hope, not pressure. The more you speak from heart, the more you'll lead with power. Chapter 8. Clarity is power. How to make your message unforgettable. Think back to the last time someone gave a long speech. They said a lot. They talked for minutes. But you walked away thinking, what were they trying to say? It happens all the time. In meetings, in interviews, in casual conversations, in leadership speeches. Here's the truth. If people don't understand you, they won't follow you. If your message is unclear, it won't stick. And if you speak without clarity, your leadership slowly loses its power. In this chapter, we'll help you fix that. We'll teach you to speak so clearly. People not only understand you, they remember you. Why clarity is a leadership superpower. Clarity is more than speaking clearly. It's leading clearly. When you speak with clarity, people trust you. Teams move faster. Problems are solved sooner. Confusion fades. Results grow. Leaders who speak with clarity bring calm to chaos. They shine light in the fog. They say what needs to be said without drama, and that earns respect. Step 1. Know your core message. Before you speak, ask yourself, what's the one thing I need them to walk away with? Not 10 things, not a pile of facts. One clear message. If you don't know your core message, your listeners won't either. Try finishing this sentence. If they only remember one thing, I want it to be. That's your core. Build everything around that. Step 2. Trim the fat. Clarity is about removing noise. Here's how. Cut long intros. Delete filler words, just really basically. Avoid repeating the same point unless it's for impact. Skip unnecessary backstories instead of, so basically, I was just thinking about how we maybe could start the new project kind of like next week. Say, let's start the project next week. Simple, clean, direct. Step 3. Use strong words, not soft ones. Soft language makes you sound unsure. Words like, I think, maybe, sort of, hopefully, kind of. Replace those with, I believe, we will. Let's do this. Here's the plan. This matters because strong language, strong leadership. Don't be rude. Just be firm and confident. Step 4. Structure your message like a leader. Here's a simple structure to speak with clarity. The point. Start with what matters. Example. We need to change the schedule. The reason. Explain why it matters. Example. Because our current timeline is causing burnout. The action. Explain what needs to happen next. Example. So starting Monday, we'll move to 4-day sprints. Clear. Sharp. Focused. This format works in emails, meetings, and one-on-ones. Step 5. Repeat for impact, not confusion. People forget fast. So yes, repeat your message, but repeat with purpose, not by rambling. Try using, let me say that another way. Here's the bottom line. If you remember one thing from today, to make this crystal clear, repetition locks in learning, but only when each version adds clarity, not clutter. Step 6. Use visual words. People think in pictures, not paragraphs. The best speakers use visual language to bring ideas to life. Instead of, we need to improve performance, say, right now, we're jogging. But we need to be sprinting. Instead of, let's aim for high standards. Say, let's raise the bar so high, even we stretch to reach it. Visual words stick. They make ideas easy to remember and hard to ignore. Step 7. Ask what will they hear. It's not just what you say, it's what they hear. Before you speak, pause and ask, will this land the way I mean it? Could this sound unclear, passive, or harsh? Do I need to break it down more? Great leaders adjust their words to fit their listener. Because communication is not about proving you're smart, it's about making the message simple for others. Step 8. Use silence to add power. Sometimes the clearest message is delivered with a pause. After making a big point, stop talking. Let the words settle. Let them echo in silence. Example, we lost a customer today because we were too slow. Pause. That can't happen again. Silence adds weight. Use it. Don't rush to fill every second. Quick story. The boss who talked in circles. Two team leaders had to give the same update. The first one stood up and talked for 10 minutes. He used big words, shared graphs, talked about Q4 forecasting dynamics and resource optimization factors. People nodded, but they were lost. The second leader stood up and said, we missed our target last month. Here's why. Too many delays. Here's what we're doing. Cutting review time by 40%. Let's fix this together. That's clarity, and that's who the team followed. Step 9. Practice being clear. Under pressure. Leadership often means speaking when you're stressed. Things are chaotic. You weren't prepared. People are watching, you feel unsure. This is where clarity is tested. Here's a trick. When pressure rises, slow down. Say less. Pause more. Focus on your main point. Even if all you say is, this is tough. But here's what matters right now. That one sentence can anchor a whole room. Step 10. Check for understanding. Want to know if you were clear? Ask. Say, does that make sense? Would you say that back to me to make sure I was clear? What questions do you have? Let me know if any part felt confusing. Leaders don't assume they were understood. They make sure. Clarity isn't just what you say, it's what others receive. Chapter 9. The Inner Voice. Mastering Self-Talk to Boost Leadership Power. Let's pause for a moment. We've talked a lot about how leaders speak to others, but now let's go inward, because your leadership doesn't start with a microphone. It starts with your mind. Before you ever say a word to someone else, you've already said hundreds of words to yourself. That's right, your inner voice, that quiet stream of thoughts running all day long, sometimes encouraging, sometimes critical, sometimes loud, sometimes sneaky. And guess what? How you talk to yourself shapes how you talk to the world. This chapter is all about mastering that inner voice, so it becomes your greatest ally, not your hidden enemy. Why self-talk is a leadership tool. You can memorize speeches. You can take public speaking courses. You can read books on communication. But if your inner voice is saying things like, you're not good enough, they won't listen to you. You always mess this up. Stay quiet. Don't risk it. Then your outer voice will shrink. You might talk, but you won't lead. Your tone will carry doubt. Your message will hesitate. Your presence will shrink. So let's fix that. First, identify your current inner voice. Close your eyes. Think about what you usually say to yourself in tough moments. When you're about to speak up in a meeting, getting ready for a big decision, trying something new, recovering from a mistake. What's the voice in your head saying? Is it kind or cruel, supportive or sabotaging? You must first see the pattern before you can shift it. The 3 types of inner voice. Which one do you use? The critic says, you always mess up. Effect. Makes you doubt everything. The worrier says, what if this goes wrong? Effect. Keeps you stuck in fear. The coach says, you've done hard things before. You've got this. Effect. Builds confidence and calm. Your goal? Train your inner voice to sound like the coach. That voice will help you lead. Even when things get rough, rewrite the script in your mind. Let's turn harmful phrases into helpful ones. From, I can't do this, to, I've never done this yet, but I can learn. From, they'll judge me, to, some might, but I'm speaking with purpose. From, I don't belong here, to, I've earned this seat. I'm ready to grow. From, I sound stupid, to, I'm getting better every time I speak. Change your self-talk. Change your leadership. Talk to yourself like you'd talk to a friend. Here's a powerful trick. When your inner critic gets loud, ask, would I say this to my best friend? If the answer is no, why say it to yourself? If your friend failed, would you say, you're such a loser? Of course not. You'd say, it's okay. One mistake doesn't define you. You'll figure it out. So why not say that to yourself? Be the voice of support you need to hear. Practice power statements. Sometimes all you need is one sentence to shift your mindset. Here are some examples of simple power statements to tell yourself daily. I speak with clarity and calm. My words matter. I lead by example, not by perfection. I am learning. I am growing. I am leading. I bring value to the room. I rise above fear. Say them out loud. Write them down. Repeat them in your head before key moments. The more you repeat, the more your brain believes. How to handle negative thoughts. Without letting them win, negative thoughts will show up. You can't always stop them, but you can decide what to do with them. Here's how. Notice it. Oh, there's that thought again. I'm not ready. Name it. That's my inner critic talking, not truth. Neutralize it. What's a more helpful way to see this? Example, I'm not ready. I'm nervous, but that means I care. This technique gives you power over your patterns. Create a self-talk routine. Before big moments, athletes warm up before the game. You should too, mentally. Before a speech, a meeting, or any leadership moment. Step 1. Breathe. Take a few deep breaths to settle your nerves. Step 2. Remind yourself. Say something like, this is my chance to lead. I'm ready. Step 3. Visualize. Picture yourself speaking clearly, calmly, and with impact. Step 4. Smile. Even a small smile can shift your energy and reduce anxiety. This routine trains your brain to step into confidence mode. Why this matters more than you think. Here's the truth. You won't always have control over what happens. You won't always know how people will react. You won't always say things perfectly, but your inner voice, that's yours to shape. And when it's strong, kind, and clear, it helps you stay steady, no matter what's going on outside. A real story. The leader who almost quit Maya was a new team lead. She had the skills, the knowledge, the potential, but her inner voice kept saying, they don't respect you. You're too quiet to lead. You're not as confident as the others. And guess what? She almost walked away. But one day, a mentor asked her, if your best friend said that about herself, what would you say? She paused, then smiled, then rewrote her thoughts. A week later, she led her first all-staff meeting with power, poise, and purpose. It all started with changing what she said to herself. Final tips to strengthen your inner voice: journal your thoughts after hard days. Celebrate small wins daily. Keep a confidence file, a list of nice things people have said about your work. Surround yourself with people who speak life. Take breaks when your mind feels heavy. Learn to say, I'm doing my best. And that's enough for today. Your inner voice is your leadership fuel. Keep it clean. Keep it strong. Chapter 10. Owning the room. How to speak with presence and confidence. There's a moment. You walk into the room, eyes turn. People pause. And even before you say a single word, they're asking, who is this? In leadership, your presence often speaks louder than your voice. And how you enter a room, how you stand, how you carry yourself, can shape how people see your power, your calm, your credibility. This chapter is about that. It's about owning the room before you even open your mouth. And when you do speak, your words land like they matter. Let's unlock this skill. What owning the room really means. It doesn't mean being the loudest. It doesn't mean being arrogant. It doesn't mean showing off. Owning the room means this. You show up with calm confidence. You're grounded. People feel your presence. You lead the energy, not chase it. And anyone, introvert or extrovert, can learn how to do it. Step 1. Set the tone before you enter. Owning the room begins before you step in. Take 10 seconds to prepare your mindset. Stand tall. Take 2 slow, deep breaths. Say to yourself, I bring clarity and calm. Visualize the room feeling better because you're in it. Walk in slowly, not rushed. Make eye contact early. Let people feel your intentional presence. You're not just entering a room, you're entering as a leader. Step 2, use the power of body language. Your body speaks first, long before your voice catches up. Here's what confident body language looks like. Posture. Stand tall. Head up. Shoulders relaxed. Hands. Keep them visible. Use open, steady gestures. Feet. Solid stance. No pacing or fidgeting. Eyes. Make eye contact one person at a time. Mouth. Relax your face. Soft, natural expressions. Avoid crossing your arms, looking down, tapping your feet, or phone checking. Folding into yourself to hide your body should say, I belong here. I'm calm. I'm ready. Step 3. Don't rush the start. Most people make the same mistake. They start talking too quickly. Why? Because silence feels awkward, because nerves take over. But here's the trick. The most powerful speakers pause before they speak. They stand tall, look around, let the silence settle. Then they begin, slowly, clearly. Try this next time. Walk in, smile, pause for 3 seconds, then speak. That small pause says, I'm in control. I'm not rushing. I own this moment. Step 4. Speak with rhythm, not speed. Fast talkers often lose their power because speed sounds nervous. It sounds unsure. Instead, speak in rhythms. Vary your pace. Add short pauses for power. Emphasize key words. Breathe between ideas. Example, we're not here to play small. We're here to lead. Notice the difference? That rhythm creates impact, and people lean in. Step 5. Anchor your message with presence. Words. Some words naturally sound more grounded. Let's begin. This matters. I believe. Here's what I see. We're moving forward. Let me be clear. These are presence words. They give weight to your voice. Use them to build trust and direction. Avoid sort of. Maybe we could, I'm not sure, but these weaken your presence quickly. Step 6. Control the room's energy. As a leader, your energy spreads. If you're anxious, others feel it. If you're calm, they breathe easier. If you're clear, people follow. So, learn to control the room by controlling yourself. Ask, am I bringing calm or chaos? Do people feel safe and focused around me? What kind of energy am I modeling? If you stay centered, the room settles. That's how real leaders lead, by presence, not pressure. Step 7. Use strategic silence. We've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Silence is a power tool. Use it to let key points sink in, regain attention, emphasize your message. Try saying something important, then stop talking. Look around. Let the room sit in it. It's in the silence that your words echo. Step 8. Command attention without demanding. People respect leaders who don't beg for the spotlight. You don't need to say, can I have your attention? Instead, earn it by speaking clearly, making eye contact, asking thoughtful questions, being fully present. Presence creates pull, and when you lead from a strong center, people naturally listen. A story. The quiet leader who stole the room. In a high-pressure board meeting, 5 managers were talking fast. Everyone was throwing ideas, interrupting, fighting for space. And then, one leader, Maria, stood up. She didn't shout. She didn't rush. She just said, I've been listening. Here's what matters most right now, and here's the step we need to take. She spoke with calm, with control, with clarity, and the room shifted. She owned it without overpowering it. That's presence. That's leadership. Step 9. Prepare. Like a pro, then let go. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being prepared. Before a big talk or meeting, know your key points. Practice your open and close. Anticipate questions. Have examples ready. Remind yourself, I've done the work. But once you're there, let go. Trust your preparation. Be present, not robotic. Leadership is a dance between planning and presence. Step 10. End strong. Don't trail off. Don't fade into silence with, yeah, so, that's it, I guess. End with intention. Try. That's our next step. Let's lead with purpose. Thank you for your focus. Let's move forward. This matters. Let's own it together. When you close with strength, people leave remembering your confidence. Chapter 11. The Leader's Story. How to use narrative to inspire. Action. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you remembered a bullet point? Now. When was the last time you remembered a story? Exactly. People forget facts. They forget statistics. But they remember stories. Stories that made them feel something. If you want to lead with impact, you must learn to lead with stories. Because great leaders aren't just skilled talkers. They're skilled storytellers. They don't just explain. They inspire. They don't just give direction. They move people. Let's unlock the most powerful communication tool every leader needs. The ability to tell the right story at the right time. Why stories work better than logic. Alone. Your brain loves a good story. When someone tells a story, your brain lights up. You feel connected. You start to see yourself in the message. You remember it longer. You trust the speaker more. Why? Because stories create emotion, and emotion drives action. You can tell people what to do, or you can tell a story that makes them want to do it. That's leadership. What makes a story powerful? A great leadership story has 3 key ingredients. A human moment. It shows real people facing real challenges. A shift. Something changes. A lesson is learned. A decision is made. A meaning. The listener gets something they can use. Hope, courage, clarity, purpose. Here's the formula. Here's what happened. Here's what I learned. Here's how it applies to you. Simple, clear, effective. The 3 stories every leader needs. You don't need to be a novelist. You just need 3 stories ready. Your why story. Why do you do what you do? What moment made you care? This builds trust. It shows people your heart. Example, years ago, I was working in silence, unsure of my value. One leader noticed me and gave me a chance. That changed everything. That's why I lead the way I do now. The challenge story. Share a struggle you faced and how you overcame it. This shows people that you've grown, that you're not perfect, but you're real. Example, I once led a project that totally failed. I blamed myself, but it taught me how to bounce back and lead with more empathy. The team vision story, a story that paints the future you want to build together. This story pulls people forward. Example, I remember when we had only 5 team members and 1 room. Now we've doubled. And I believe if we keep showing up with grit, we can reach global impact. These 3 stories can help you lead in any room. How to tell a story like a leader, not a rambler. Here's how to keep your story tight, powerful, and on point. Start with the moment that matters. Skip the long setup. Instead of, I want to tell you about a time when I was working in New York, and it was around 2014. Try, I was standing outside the boardroom, heart racing, about to give the biggest pitch of my life. Keep it short and focused. 3 to 5 minutes is plenty. Don't drag it out. Speak from the heart, not a script talk like you're telling a friend, not reading a paper. End with the lesson. Every story needs a takeaway. Try, that day taught me this. And I think it matters for us right now because tie the meaning back to the moment they're in. When to use stories as a leader. You don't need a stage. Use stories every day. In team meetings, one-on-one conversations, client presentations, emails and memos, conflict resolution, motivational talks, training sessions. Wherever there are people, there's space for story. And here's the bonus. The right story builds connection faster than a resume ever will. A real example. The CEO who told a 60-second story before a major merger. The CEO of a mid-sized company stood before his team. He could have talked numbers, charts, strategy. Instead, he said this: 10 years ago, I walked into this office scared out of my mind. It was my first job. My boss said, "Don't worry, you'll grow into it." And here we are. Now I say the same to all of you. Don't worry, we'll grow into this together. Silence, then applause. One short story, endless impact. That's leadership. Avoid these common storytelling mistakes, making yourself the hero. Yes, your story's about you, but the lesson should serve your team. Don't say, "I crushed the challenge and proved how great I am." Instead, say, "I learned how to stay calm under pressure, and that helped everyone win." Going too long. If it takes 15 minutes to tell, it's probably too much. Keep it sharp. Forgetting the lesson. A story with no point feels like a waste of time. Always ask, what do I want them to take away? Add emotion, not drama. You don't need to cry, you don't need to shout, you don't need special effects. Just speak with real emotion. Let people feel your calm, your hope, your grit, your truth. Authenticity wins. If it matters to you, it'll matter to them. Craft your leadership story in 5 steps. Let's write a quick story you can use. Pick a moment that shaped your leadership, a win, a failure, a turning point. Describe what happened clearly and simply. What was the challenge? Share how you felt. Were you scared? Excited? Lost? Explain what you learned. Be specific. Connect it to your message today. Why does it matter for your team or audience now? That's it. That's a story worth telling. Chapter 12. The Tough Talk. How to handle difficult conversations with grace and strength. Let's be honest, leadership is not just about inspiration, vision, or motivation. It's also about confrontation, the kind that makes your stomach turn, the kind you'd rather avoid, the kind that can change a relationship forever if handled poorly. But here's the truth. Great leaders don't run from hard conversations. They face them with grace, clarity, and strength. And that's what we're going to learn right now. Because how you handle the tough talks says more about your leadership than any speech ever could. Let's dive in. Why difficult conversations matter. Most people avoid hard conversations. They're afraid of hurting feelings, being disliked, making things worse, losing control, saying the wrong thing. But here's what really happens when you avoid the talk. Problems grow. Trust fades, resentment builds, respect weakens. You can't lead a team, a company, or even a family without sometimes saying things that are hard to hear, but necessary to say. And the good news? Tough conversations can actually build stronger relationships when done the right way. Step 1. Shift your mindset before you speak. Start here. Don't see the conversation as a fight. See it as a service. You're not attacking, you're not punishing, you're guiding, correcting, healing, or protecting something valuable. Ask yourself, what's the outcome I want? How can I be honest and kind? What do they need to hear? Not just what I want to say. When you come from care, not control, people feel it. Step 2. Prepare, but don't script. Yes, be ready. But no, you don't need a full script. Do this instead. Know your main message. Be clear about your goal. Gather any facts you need. Stay open to what they have to say. Say it out loud to yourself. Here's what I want to say. Here's how I want them to feel. Here's what I hope happens after. When you walk in prepared but human, you walk in strong. Step 3. Choose the right time and place. Privacy matters. So does setting. Have the conversation, in person, if possible, in a calm space. At a time with few distractions, don't ambush someone in a hallway. Don't try to talk when emotions are high. Don't rush it between meetings. The where and when of the talk sets the tone. Respect their dignity. Respect your words. Step 4. Open with clarity and calm. Start strong but not harsh. Here are some clear, kind openers. I want to talk about something important. This isn't easy, but I care enough to say it. My goal here is honesty, not blame. Let's have a real conversation, one that helps us move forward. Avoid. We need to talk. Oh, sounds like a threat. You always, or you never. I'm mad, and here's why. Set the tone early. Calm, focused, respectful. Step 5. Speak directly, not emotionally. Now comes the message. Speak like this. Short sentences, specific words, no drama. Use the I format. I noticed that. I feel that. I need us to. Avoid vague terms like you're difficult or you're lazy. Instead, say, I've seen 3 missed deadlines this month. That concerns me. Specific is respectful. Clear is kind. Step 6. Leave space for their voice. A hard conversation is not a monologue. Ask questions. What's your take on this? How do you feel about what I've said? What do you think needs to happen next? Then pause. Let them talk, even if they're defensive, even if they cry, even if they disagree. Your job is not to crush them. It's to understand them, even when the truth is tough. Step 7. Keep the focus on the future. The past may have brought you here, but the goal is to move forward. Say things like, here's how we can fix this. Let's reset expectations. This is what I'm willing to do. What support do you need going forward? Let the conversation end with a clear next step. Even if it's hard, like a warning, a change, or even letting someone go, do it with clarity and dignity. A real example, the manager who almost waited too long. Maya was a team leader. One of her top performers had grown sloppy, missing deadlines, showing up late, acting careless. Maya kept making excuses for him. He's going through a tough time. I don't want to ruin our relationship. Maybe it'll fix itself. It didn't. By the time she spoke up, the whole team had noticed the problems. Trust was already damaged. But when she finally sat down and said, "You matter here. But what's been happening isn't okay. I want to help, but we need to talk about it now." That one sentence turned it around. The tough talk she delayed, it saved the team and helped him grow. Lesson: don't wait until things break. Speak early. Speak well. Step 8. Control your emotions, even if they don't. You can't control how they respond. You can only control how you show up. If they get loud, cry, get silent, blame you, don't match their emotion, match their need. Stay grounded, stay calm. Keep your voice steady. You are the leader in the room. Lead the tone. Step 9. Follow up. The conversation isn't over when the room goes quiet. In the next day or two, check in, repeat your support. Clarify what happens next. Stay open. Don't just drop the conversation like a hot rock. Leaders follow through. That shows respect. That builds trust. Phrases that help. During hard conversations, here are a few calm, respectful lines to keep in your toolbox. Let's talk through this together. This is not about blame. It's about clarity. Help me understand your side. I want to be honest and fair. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help us. And if things get tense, let's take a breath. Would it help to pause and come back to this? My goal is peace, not punishment. Words shape reactions. Use yours to lead, not to wound. Chapter 13. The Inner Voice. How your self-talk shapes your leadership worrying. Before you ever speak to a room, before you ever share your ideas, before you ever give a command, inspire a team, or lead a meeting, you speak to yourself, and that quiet, constant voice inside you, that's your inner voice. It's the most powerful influence on how you talk to others, because if your self-talk is weak, doubtful, or harsh, your leadership words will be too. Let's be clear. The way you talk to yourself shapes the way you lead others. So, today, we're going to clean up that inner conversation. We're going to build the kind of self-talk that creates bold, clear, confident leadership. Let's begin. Why self-talk matters more than you think. Self-talk isn't just thinking. It's the way you interpret the world, judge your performance, prepare for conversations, recover from failure, push through fear. It sounds like, I can't handle this. They're not going to listen to me. I'm not good at speaking. I always mess things up. No one takes me seriously. These thoughts may be quiet, but they're not harmless. They shape how you stand, speak, lead, and connect. So before we fix your speech, we fix your mindset. The two types of self-talk. Let's break it down. Limiting self-talk. These are the lies your fear tells you. I'm not smart enough. I'm not a natural leader. If I speak up, they'll judge me. Limiting talk keeps you small. Empowering self-talk. These are the truths your courage tells you. I've prepared. I can do this. I'm growing. Not perfect. My voice matters. Empowering talk makes you rise. Here's the good news. Self-talk is a habit, not a personality trait, and habits can be changed. How your inner voice impacts your outer voice. Here's how it works. Inner thought. They're smarter than me. I know my value. I always mess this up. This is hard, but I've done harder. What others see, hesitant tone, uncertain answers, confident posture, calm delivery, nervous laughter, rushed speech, steady voice, focused eyes. People can feel your confidence or your doubt, even if you never say it aloud. So let's make sure what you're saying inside builds what you show outside. Step 1. Catch the negative loops. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts in moments like before a meeting, after a mistake, while preparing a speech, when receiving feedback, during conflict. Write them down. Literally. You might notice patterns like, I always say the wrong thing. They're probably thinking I'm boring. I'll never be as good as them. These loops feel familiar, but they're not facts. They're stories you've repeated for too long. Let's rewrite them. Step 2. Replace. Don't just erase. You can't just tell yourself, stop thinking that. Instead, replace the thought with one that is true, helpful, possible. Example. I'm terrible at speaking. I'm learning to speak better every time I try. They won't listen to me. Some may not, but the right people will. I'm not good enough. I'm growing. Progress matters more than perfection. Don't lie to yourself. Speak truth with hope. Step 3. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. You would never say to a friend, you're a failure, you're not good enough, everyone's better than you. So why say it to yourself? You are your own leader first, and leaders don't bully, they build. Try this. Next time you mess up, say, that didn't go well, but I'm proud I tried. What can I learn from this? Next time fear shows up, say, this is big, but so am I. Kind, honest, strong. That's how leaders think. The power of I am statements. Two of the most powerful words in language are I am. Whatever follows I am becomes your identity. So be careful what you attach to it. Bad. I am bad at leading. I am boring. I am awkward. Better. I am learning to lead. I am growing. I am capable of getting better. Say them out loud, daily. Train your brain. Shift your identity. Change your voice. A real-life story. From doubt to direction. Marcus was a brilliant product manager, but he froze in every leadership meeting. When asked why, he said, I don't know. I'm not a speaker. I stumble. I blank. I don't belong here. We worked on only one thing, his inner script. We helped him rewrite, I don't belong to, I've earned my seat. My voice brings value. We helped him rewrite, I blank out to, I pause, I breathe, and I speak when I'm ready. 6 weeks later, Marcus was leading a company-wide presentation. Not flawless, but fearless. His outer leadership changed because his inner voice changed first. Speak to yourself in these key moments. Here are 5 situations where strong self-talk is critical. Before a big talk or meeting, say, I'm ready. I've done the work. I will speak with clarity and calm after you mess up. Say, that didn't go as planned. I'll grow from this. When you're judging yourself. Say, I'm not perfect, and I don't have to be. I am enough as I grow. When you're comparing yourself. Say, their journey is theirs. Mine is mine. I am building something real. When you want to quit, say, this is hard, but hard things build strong leaders. I keep going. Build these habits. They become your foundation. Create your personal leader's mantra. Let's create one. Pick 3 powerful I am statements that reflect who you want to be as a leader. Here's an example. I am calm under pressure. I am a voice of clarity and truth. I am becoming the leader I was born to be. Write yours. Say it daily. Live into it. Because the strongest leaders aren't the loudest. They're the ones whose inner voice leads with wisdom and strength. Chapter 14. Lead with clarity. How to say more by saying less. Let me start with a secret. Great leaders don't talk a lot. They talk with clarity. They don't use big words to sound smart. They use simple words that stick. They don't speak to impress. They speak to move people into action. In leadership, the more clearly you speak, the more powerful your voice becomes. Today, let's break down what it truly means to say more by saying less. Because when you speak with clarity, people don't just hear you, they follow you. The problem with saying too much. Have you ever sat in a meeting and thought, why is this person still talking? Or heard a speech where you couldn't figure out what the point was? That's the danger of unclear communication. Too many leaders over-explain, fill space with words, talk without direction. And when that happens, people stop listening. Remember, if your message isn't clear, your impact disappears. Why clarity builds trust. Think of someone you trust. They probably speak directly, simply, without drama, without confusion. Now think of someone you don't trust. Chances are they talk in circles. They've giving clear answers. They talk a lot, but say nothing. That's why clarity builds trust. When your words are clear, your intentions are clear, and people follow those they trust. The 3 pillars of clear leadership communication. Here's what clarity looks like in action. Say it simply. Use short sentences. Use common words. Example. Instead of "we need to proactively facilitate optimized interdepartmental collaboration," say, "let's help teams work together better." Simple is strong. Say it directly. Get to the point. Don't bury your message. Instead of, "I was thinking we could possibly, maybe, if the timing works out," consider shifting. Say, "let's move the meeting to Friday so we have more time to prepare." Direct doesn't mean rude. It means respectful and focused. Say it with purpose. Don't talk just to fill the silence. Speak when you have a reason. Ask yourself, does this move us forward? If not, skip it. How to practice speaking less, but saying more. Let's make this real. Tip 1. Use the Twitter rule. Can you explain your idea in one sentence, like a tweet? If not, you probably don't understand it yet. Say your core message in 20 words or less. Example. We're changing the product because our users need a faster, simpler experience. That's clarity. Tip 2. Start with the end in mind. What do you want people to know, feel, do? Then build your message backward from there. This keeps your words purpose-driven. Tip 3. Cut the fluff. Before you speak or write something, ask, is this necessary? Is this the best word for it? Am I repeating myself? Trim every sentence until only what matters remains. Examples. Fluff versus clarity. I just kind of wanted to say that, I think maybe we should consider trying to do more outreach. Possibly. Let's do more outreach starting this week. At the end of the day, I truly believe that communication is one of the most important skills that we, as leaders, should really try to work on if possible. Leaders must get better at communication. Shorter, cleaner, stronger. The power of the pause. Silence is not weakness. In fact, a pause can be more powerful than a sentence. Why? It shows confidence. It gives others time to reflect. It adds weight to your message. It lets your words land. Great leaders use the pause like a tool. Before your next big sentence, pause. Let people lean in. Let the words settle. You'll notice they remember it longer. What happens when you lead with clarity? Everything changes. Your team stops guessing, starts executing, feels safer, responds faster, trusts deeper. Your message travels further, hits harder, lasts longer. And you become the kind of leader whose words carry weight. Not because you talk more, but because you talk right. Real story, the leader who cut half his meeting. A senior executive once held weekly 90-minute meetings. His team dreaded them. So many updates, so many slides, so many words, and very little clarity. One day, he made a change. No slides, only one question. What do we need to decide today? That meeting took 30 minutes, but everyone walked away clear, confident, and ready. He didn't become less powerful. He became more trusted. He stopped talking just to talk and started speaking to lead. Practice exercise. Say it short. Pick a common leadership situation, explaining a new project, giving feedback, sharing a big idea. Now challenge yourself. Explain it in one sentence, then in 3 sentences, then in 30 seconds. This will train your clarity muscle. Less filler, more focus. That's the mark of a communicator people want to follow. What clear leaders don't do. Let's finish this chapter by killing a few bad habits. They don't use fancy jargon. You're not trying to win a spelling bee. You're trying to win trust. They don't overload with facts. Data is good, but stories and vision move hearts. They don't talk over people. Leadership is not volume, it's precision. They don't repeat themselves without purpose. Repeat for emphasis, not because you forgot what you said. Chapter 15, The Leader's Voice, How to Keep Growing and Keep Leading. So, here you are, at the end of the journey. But real leaders know there's no final chapter, only the next level. You've walked through the tools, the habits, and the inner work of how to talk like a leader. But this last chapter isn't about what you've learned. It's about what you'll do next. Because leaders don't just speak well for one speech. They grow their voice for a lifetime. Today, we explore how to stay consistent, keep improving, and never stop leading. Let's finish strong. You are always becoming. There's no such thing as finally being a great communicator. Great leaders aren't finished products. They're always evolving. Think about your favorite speaker or leader. They didn't wake up one day with perfect words. They trained, failed, practiced, and kept showing up. They still do. Great leadership isn't about knowing it all. It's about growing every day. So your voice is not a fixed thing. It's a skill, a muscle, a mindset. And like any muscle, it needs training. The habits of leaders who keep growing. If you want to stay sharp, stay clear, and stay trusted, build these habits into your daily life. Reflect often. After any meeting, ask, what went well? What felt unclear? Did I listen enough? Write it down. No shame. Just awareness. Practice in safe spaces. Don't wait for the big stage. Use voice notes, daily journaling conversations with trusted friends, quiet rooms where you rehearse aloud. Every small moment is a training ground. Seek feedback actively. Ask, how did that sound to you? Was I clear just now? What could I have said better? Real leaders want the truth, not flattery. Consume great communicators. Watch TED Talks. Read speeches. Observe interviews. Ask yourself, why did this move me? What words did they use? What made it feel honest? Model excellence, but keep your own voice. Leadership isn't always about talking. Let's be honest. Some days, your voice won't feel strong. Some days, silence will speak louder. And that's okay. True leaders know when to speak, when to listen, when to pause, when to hold space for others. You don't have to lead every moment with words. Sometimes your presence is enough. Silence is not absence. It's wisdom. When you fail, and you will mess up. You will say the wrong thing. You will be misunderstood. That doesn't make you a bad leader. It makes you a human one. What matters is, do you take responsibility? Do you apologize with honesty? Do you learn and return stronger? Failure is part of finding your voice. So when it happens, say, that didn't land the way I hoped. Let me try again. And then try again. The voice of the future. The world is noisy. So many people shouting. So few people saying something real. Your job is not to be louder. Your job is to be clearer, braver, and more authentic. In the years ahead, your voice will shape teams, families, businesses, communities. You don't have to sound like anyone else. Your tone, your story, your rhythm. That's what makes you powerful. Speak from your truth, and people will feel it. You are a voice of change. Let me remind you, your words matter. Your presence matters. Your story matters. You are not just a manager, teacher, creator, or parent. You are a voice. A leader of minds, a lifter of hearts, a speaker of vision. So speak. When it's hard, when you're afraid, when it would be easier to stay quiet. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs your clarity. It needs your leadership. Final practice. Your leadership speech. Let's close this journey with a challenge. Write a 1-minute speech answering this question. What do I stand for as a leader? Use the tools you've learned. Start with a strong opening line. Keep it clear and simple. Share a belief, not a biography. End with power. Say it aloud. Record yourself. Watch it back. Then say it again next week and the next. That's how a leader grows. Final words. You've made it through 15 chapters. You've looked at how to speak with purpose, how to control your emotions, how to build trust, how to simplify your message, how to keep growing every single day. You've trained not just your voice, but your mind. You've started becoming not just a better speaker, but a transformational leader. And now the real journey begins. Don't stop here. Keep listening, keep learning, keep leading. Speak with strength, speak with truth. Speak like the world is watching, because it is. And remember, you don't need to raise your voice to lead. You just need to speak from the right place, your heart, your values, and your growth. So go, lead, and never stop becoming. Your voice matters. Now go use it. Matters.